Hey everyone, welcome back to my video. In today's video we're going to do a quick porch refresh, which is so long overdue. You can see, I wanted to point out that right there, the little gray and red you see there, that is how the old porch looked. I've been meaning to do this and wanting to do this for literally I think 3 years, and I never got the time, never had the stuff I needed. It was one of those things where you see it and you hate it, but it becomes white noise. You forget it's there, but then when you remember, you're like, okay, I want to go get the stuff, I don't have time, I'll do it later. But then you forget to do it later, and it just kept turning into that. And then the Rona hit and it was just a mess. So I finally got time to get the things I needed and refresh the porch. It was horrible, so remember that before, because that's the way it looked. I had all this footage from when I did this and when I did some other videos, but then it just got deleted. It just disappeared, it vanished. I have no idea where it went. But so it had to be condensed because I was going to do a whole series on me redoing my entire porch, but I didn't end up being able to do the whole porch because it's a long story. So these are the clips that I had, so you can see the before and the after, and as you see, it desperately needed an after. So here we go, let's get into it. Now the day I did this, I got the colors I got, they weren't the colors I wanted exactly. They were way brighter than I thought they were going to be. I was looking for a bluish gray and a really off-white, but the white was so bright. It was like pearl white, and the grayish blue looked like just a blue with a slight gray tint. So I wasn't happy with how bright it was because it's going to be walked on, but I'm actually really happy with the result. And actually I've had it for a few weeks now, maybe a couple of months, and it doesn't actually get as dirty as you would think. You do have to wipe it off like every couple of weeks to make sure that it stays clear, but shockingly it's been rainstorms and all that stuff, dirt tracked on it, and it didn't stain like I thought it would, because that was my biggest worry. So I'm happy with it. I painted the ground, and then I painted like the ledges and the poles. I was going to do the ceiling. The ceiling is where it became an absolute headache. I had an eye nozzle that you're supposed to be able to use to paint, but that thing was so awkward, and then it was too heavy, and then when you angled it too high up, and the paint can get back in the nozzle and destroy it. And it was just like I had to do 3 trips to Home Depot, and it was just an absolute headache. So I didn't even have what I really needed to do, the ceiling, and that's what I really wanted to do first. So I said, you know what, let me just paint it was hours, it was days, it was hot this day, it was hot that week. So I just said, forget it, I'll just paint the poles, I'll paint the ledges and the floors, and I'll get back to that later. So I want to do that later. It's not going to take me 3 years this time. When I get the time, what I want to do is wait till like Black Friday, because I want a paint sprayer. I've always wanted one anyway, to get a paint sprayer and go in and just use that and do the ceiling, because that'll be a lot quicker and a lot easier. I can't use paint rollers. Once I finish the ceiling, if I have the footage, if it didn't get deleted, I'll show you why I can't use paint rollers, because if I could, that would have just been, it wouldn't have been easy, but I could at least just switch to paint rollers. But I'll show you why. In the ceiling, I just have to get that painted because it's a mess. But I've actually decided maybe to even switch the colors, because you'll see in this video I didn't paint the step. Yes, the steps looks a mess, the step leading into the house, because I didn't want to do it white and I didn't want to do that grayish blue color. I don't care if the step's not the same color. I couldn't figure out what I wanted. But then while editing this footage, I realized I think I'm going to take the bluish gray color that's already there, get a dark gray, and then mix those two together to try and get the medium tone that I'm looking for, with the hint of blue in it. And I think that might work. So if that works, I'm going to make the step that color, and then I'm going to probably go over the white and make the white that color, and just leave the light bluish gray in the center like I did the color blocking, so that way I can get rid of the white, because that's where most of the little bit of track of dirt comes from. But I'll be able to tell once I paint the step, once I figure out the color scheme I want for the step, paint that, and then I'll be able to cover up the white to see if I want that to go with the blue, or cover up the blue and see if I want that to go with the white. So it'll work out that way, and then I'll use that to paint the ceiling, because I want the ceiling to be two-tone like I did the floor, but I want them to match. So eventually I will figure this out and I'll get it together. I'll have the paint spray this time. And then I was so hot and tired, the ledge, it's like, I don't remember when, but it's like a bunch of wax spilled on the ledge of the window frame, and then dust accumulated on it. So the window frame looks a mess. Ignore the window frame. I didn't get a chance to paint that. I literally had my hand hovering over the window frame, and then I said, you know what, I was over it. I said, I don't feel like doing this. And then it hit me, I'm not sure what color I wanted the window frame to be. So I said, if I paint this and then I changed my mind, I'm going to be annoyed, because I was already annoyed. It was like 2 weeks of me trying to finally get a week and a half of me trying to get this porch finally done after years of needing to do it, and then I just kept running into nothing but problems. So I said, okay, I'm not going to rush to do anything I don't want. I've learned that don't do it in that moment just to get it done, because you'll regret it later when you find what you want. So I said I'm going to leave the window frame alone. So the window frame has they waxed it. I don't remember where it came from, and the dust that accumulated on it. It's just there. It's annoying. And then it's a green frame. So I said, do I want to do the window frame two-tone? Do I just want to have it all white? I don't know. So it's best for me to leave it, and then I'll return to it probably in November or December. I don't mind working outside in the cold. I love cold weather. As long as the paint sprayer works with me and the paint doesn't freeze up, I'll just do it later then, because I want to make sure I get it done. But I also don't want to rush and do something that I really don't want. So that's the story of me remodeling, sort of. That's why I say refresh, not really remodeling, but refreshing the porch. Now into the decorating that has already started. Now this idea I saw a YouTuber do back in the beginning of August, when I was hitting all these random recommendations for do-it-yourself. I guess YouTube knows I love fall. So she just went to Dollar Tree, bought a few signs, bought a broomstick, and she put together her porch sign. And I love the way it looked. I said, that's it. And it cost however many times she got. It cost like $5 or $6. I said, that's perfect. But then she put it in like a planter, and then had like all this other stuff she did to it. I said, I don't need that. I just put all this together, and then I know how I could use it to anchor it. And so I ran out. I said, I'm definitely doing this. And because if you remember my other video, I said, I'm not worried about anything being stolen off of my porch, but just in case, at least it'll be something that's cheap in price. So this is what I took her idea. I got 3 signs. That's a broomstick. And then I had some mounting tape, and I put the sign together from Dollar Tree. This is a $4 welcome sign, front porch sign, yard sign, however you want to call it, that I put together. It literally only costs, well, it's $1.25 now, but you get the gist. It only costs $1.25 for each thing, and only got 4 things. Very cheap, very, very cute. I love the end product. I love the end result, and you'll see it for yourself. Now I will say that the mounting tape kind of kept it in place a little bit, but I did run into a problem with it sliding off, and that's where I realized it's not going to work. So off camera, I just got, you know, when you buy a new tablecloth, it has the ribbon wrapped around it. I always save them because I'm like, I could use these for something later, and it always works. I just used one of those little strings, cut them up real small, and I tied it around the top of each sign, or if they had a hole in it. Yeah, I tied it around the string that the sign, because you're supposed to hang them on the wall. I tied it tightly to those and wrapped them around a pole and put it in a low bow in the back. And that's how I kept it secure. So I just, each one got a little ribbon, got a little ribbon to go through their, I guess their rib, I don't know what you would call that you would hang up on the wall. Tied it around that, and then tied it around the pole in a little bow so it stayed up. And the mounting tape kept it from, like, you know, sliding back and forth in the wind or anything like that. So the mounting tape keeps it to the stick, but the string keeps it up. So don't just use mounting tape like I did. I thought I would be lucky and be able to get away with it, but I couldn't. But it worked out just fine in the end, and you'll see. So use just a little bit of string, and the string is hidden. You're not going to be able to see it, and you still have your little cheap, cute sign that you'll be able to use, and it hasn't fallen over or anything. This day was like so chilly and so like kind of windy. It was just a perfect fall day. You can't tell because I ended up getting hot like immediately, so I took my flannel off. But it was so perfect. I just wanted to say that I loved it. But anyway, this is the bale of hay I got from Joann Fabrics. It was like the extra large one. Hay, bales of hay are messy. That's why I'm like, I used to keep them in the plastic because I said I'm not cleaning up all that. But eventually I'm like, you know what? Once you initially take it out, it's not too messy, and you're gonna leave it there wherever you're putting it the whole time. Just sweep it after you undecorate, as I call it. Just take everything down. But here's the sign. This is how it turned out. And so, like I said, the string is holding it up, the mounting tape is holding it in place. So this is very cheap, very easy. You can even get probably some cheap string or ribbon or wire, whatever it is, from Dollar Tree, wherever you want to get it. And this is the end result on how it looked. That's why I said I didn't need a base because I knew I was just going to stick it in the bale of hay. So it worked out. The hay keeps it anchored. It hasn't moved. It hasn't budged. And I've had some crazy windy days. Nothing has happened to it. So shout out to her. I wish I knew what her name was, because she has so many good ideas in her video, but I didn't have time to do pretty much any of the other ones because she had like 4 other ones I wanted to do. This is the only one I actually had time to do, and the only one I actually had time to go out and get the stuff that I needed. So I love the way it came out, because I couldn't decide on what sign I wanted at first. And then I saw that video, and I was, because you know, it was the beginning of August, so I said I'm not really necessarily trying to think of anything, but I knew I wasn't going to come up with anything or what kind of sign I wanted, because I've never really seen it in the past. But then I saw her video, so that came in clutch. Loved it. It looks perfect. Now this portion of my porch, it used to be something here, I don't remember what it was called. It was actually elevated in the center, like kind of a little centerpiece, and you could put things on there. I don't remember why it came off, but I think from all the jumping and playing on it, whatever, it came off. And I went to like fix it. It was bricks in there and everything, put it back up. But I actually prefer the dip, because when I looked at it, I said I actually can put decorations in there. So I never actually fixed it. I actually took some bricks out. I can't lie. It was more than that to like seal it off, but I took some out, and I use that to just put anything in there. Sometimes I put flowers and then put hair on the flowers to make it give it decor, like a little, you know, like a kind of like a orchard feel. You know, you go to an orchard and they have all that hay surrounding the signs or whatever. Like, I know I'm seeing it in my head. I don't know if you can, but I'm seeing it in my head from when I've seen it. So I just left that blank, because I prefer to put things in there, and I love the way that looks when I do it. So that's why that looks like that, because I can put signs in there. Because when I had the other one, you kind of had to have stuff on top, and it had to be in a vase, or it had to be in a planter or a bowl or something like that, and I don't really like to use that on the porch. I don't in that section. So that coming off is actually, I prefer it. That's how I like the way it look, and I can do whatever I want with it. Now this right here is the dry cornstalk. I showed you it in the Lowe's video, in the Shop With Me video, and I told you I was getting it, and I got it. And when I went back to get it, I went back like 2 weeks to get it. That one I planned when I was going to get it, and I almost didn't get it because there were like literally 3 left. They were running out on all the Lowe's. The one I went to, they only had 3 left, but I got it, so that's all that matters. And I waited because this is a dry cornstalk. That means it's going to dry up and dry up and dry up and dry up and shrivel and become a mess. So I wanted to wait until the end of September to get it, because if I got it earlier, it would have dried earlier. So I'm like, even though now I'm thinking about it, no matter when I would have gotten it, it still would have dried at the same speed, because they were already out there in Lowe's. It's not like they bought in new batches, so I could have just gotten it whenever I wanted. Anyway, this is going to dry out eventually, and it's probably going to look a mess. But for now, I love it. I had to get it. What I did was I kept the zip ties. If you saw, I kept the zip ties, and then I took some tiny pieces of string, the ribbon, the same old ribbon that I had that I used for the other sign, and I just tied them through the post on the side of my door, because I have little holes there, because there used to be a screen door up there, and so I took it off, and I just put the string through the zip ties, pulled the string through the little holes there that went to the old door, and tied it tightly. And I just did 2 in the middle and at the bottom. I didn't even do one at the top, and it's held just fine, because I was like, if I can't get it through there, I have nowhere to put this, and I really wanted that at the door. And I love the way it came out, and I'm very happy with the way it just frames the door perfectly, and because it would not be complete if I couldn't get this. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, and if you end up painting your porch, don't do 1 layer of painter's tape like I did. Do 2, because you can see the rims around it. I was like, oh my gosh. And I literally hesitated before I started. I said, is one row going to do? Because it was the same height as a paint roller. But when you paint, it doesn't stay that way. So I got a ring of paint around there, a whole line. But eventually I'm going to try to use paint remover, or try, because you can't really paint bricks. I've done that before and it looks a mess. So use 2 rows of paint. To painter's tape, just saying. Now the next day, actually, I realized I didn't have any flowers. I had no flowers, so I ran out the next couple days on my way home, and I said, let me just go into Lowe's. I went to one store, and then I went to Lowe's. Lowe's has the better flowers, so I ended up just getting those from Lowe's and the other ones from a grocery store that shouldn't sell flowers, because I forgot they died like 2 days after getting them. But since it's fall, it actually works, so I like it, so I left them. And I ran and got those flowers. They were very inexpensive. The ones I really wanted, they didn't have any left. It was like a purple in this basket. It wasn't even in the planter or anything like that. It was in a basket. I loved it. So I got those. I had those last year. If you remember in the past, I said I didn't want to get yellow, but I said, you know what, this is silly. These flowers are gorgeous. Who cares if I had it last year? So I just got those like I had them last year, and I love them all over again. And this little welcome sign, I love it. It's so cute. I believe I got this from Walmart. I can't tell. I guarantee you I still have the tag. Oh well. And now it's time for the big reveal. First, this is the after. Technically, this is the before I've decorated, but this is the after of me redoing the porch. I had the footage and I wish you could have seen how horrible it looked. But this is the before and is the after technically. So let's enjoy. So the wreath, the blessed wreath is from Walmart. The dried cornstalk is from Lowe's. The bale of hay is from Joann Fabrics. The welcome mat, this old, that's from Joann Fabrics. This actual produce on the hay, that's from Walmart. The sign that I made, everything is from Dollar Tree. The flowers are from a grocery store and Lowe's. Go with Lowe's. And the window clings, if you can see the window clings, they're double-sided and they are from Amazon. Anything that can be linked, I will put it down right in the description box. Go ahead and check it out. Now this is a very quick kitchen tablescape because I use this table for everything when I'm in there. So I need something that I can quickly remove off the table and then quickly just place back. And with the way I did this, very quickly, very simple. There's not much to it. That way I can pick it up without having to actually change anything or take anything apart if I need the space, and then put it back after I'm done and I clean up. So I think it's perfect for this type of area. You don't have anything all intricate, no placemats and all the other stuff where you got to clean things up and then take everything down and then put it back together time and again, because that's just time consuming and silly. So just do something simple, something quick, cute, to the point, and you get the point. And this is what I did. Most of the stuff in this clip is from Dollar Tree. The plates are from Dollar Tree, the hay's from Dollar Tree, everything else I think is from Dollar Tree except for like the pitcher. I'm gonna say that's the only thing. But first I started out with plates, and then I got hay. It was just a bag of hay from Dollar Tree, and you just split up the hay and then put a thin layer of hay on the plates. Not a whole lot, just thin, because if you put too much, then you're not going to be able to layer it with anything else, or it'll just kind of keep falling over because it doesn't really stay in one place unless you pile it high, and that will look goofy on the plate. So I started off with the Dollar Tree plates, and then I added the Dollar Tree hay, and then I had these little, I don't know what these are, what you would call these, just these little trays that I've never had any use for them. I bought them one year and I said, oh, these are cute. I'm going to use these on my table, coffee table, and it looks stupid on the coffee table. And I had these for years, never used them again. So I actually broke these out again to put on the table, and I put them on top of the hay because then I feel like the hay gave it kind of a little bit of character and made it look more fall than just putting these and then just sitting directly on a plate. I thought that would have looked silly kind of. So the hay kind of gives it some dimension and makes it pop a little. You don't need a lot of things to make something pop or to give it dimensions or anything like that. I think the hay works perfectly. And then I went for the Dollar Tree bowls. They're the only ones who I've seen. No, they're not. I lied. Somebody else had bowls for the fall. I don't remember who it was. Bowls are picking up for the fall because it's usually a Christmas thing. But then I put the bowls on top of you see what I'm doing. I put the bowls on next. So then there's like layers, but it's not too much because I hate, sometimes I see people do their tablescapes and then it looks so nice, but then they keep going and then they keep going and they keep adding stuff. And I'm like, no, you're ruining it. You have too much stuff. And then it becomes so much stuff that you can't see all the little cuteness that they did with each layer, and it just becomes overwhelmed. And it kind of ruins it sometimes. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep this simple because too much sometimes is just that, too much. And these are just little, you know, bacon. My sister got these for me last year. She was so hype over them. She said, when you bake, put these in everything. So I had these left over. So I put these right at the top above the bowl. I had some ones that were pumpkins, but I was like, no, I don't really want to use pumpkins. So it just says give thanks, right to the point. Because for me, like I said before, fall season is also Thanksgiving season. There is no and or, there is no breaking it up for me. They go hand in hand, period. That's how it is. Fall is Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving is fall. And then I added, this picture is old. Actually it's broken. There are tiny little cracks at the bottom that I didn't realize were in there until one day I put all this juice in there, and then I just realized the juice was going down. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, why is it going down? And I lifted it up and all the juice started squirting out because it had tiny little cracks in it. So now, before I threw it out, I said it's too cute. It has flowers. You probably can't see it. It has like little flowers all around it. And I said, I don't want to get rid of it. Is there like a dual use I can do? And I said, you know what? Decor. And I've been using it for decor ever since. So I put some more hay in the pitcher, and then I added a leaf bouquet, 2 leaf bouquets. And then the scarecrow is from Dollar Tree. I had to have a scarecrow next to the pitcher because I just thought they played off well. And that is the little butter dish that I got from Dollar Tree. I told you guys I was gonna get it. It was too cute to give up. I just couldn't not get that. So I didn't know what to put in it at first, actually. So you want to see, I put like just some random mesh ribbon in there, but now it houses toothpicks and tea bags. It's perfect for that. So that's my suggestion, put that in there. This basket actually came, my old manager, she got it for me when I left. She bought me, they know I love fruit, so she bought me dried fruit, and it came with this basket, and I love it. It's so cute. It's actually an apple. It's the shape of an apple, and you can take the basket and you can hang it. But if you do hang the basket by the little stem for the apple, you have to do it where it's like not really on a wall. If you want it to hang down like a basket, because how's it going to hang there like that? So you have to have it like, I say free hanging, nothing surrounding it, or you can just make it flat and you can hang it up on the wall that way. But it looks better as a basket, and you swivel it anyway, put your fruit in there, whatever you want to put in there. I always put fruit in here, and this is what I'm putting: Red Delicious apples. First of all, they are the best apples, and I love me a good apple. So I put Red Delicious apples in here, and I love that pop of red. And I told you I wanted apples this year, just a touch of apples everywhere. So that's how I got my touch of apples in the kitchen, which I love. Got them from BJ's, the huge bag for like $6. So yeah, I was very happy with that. Well, that brings us to the end of the video. I appreciate you all coming, every last one of you. I thank you for watching my last video, and we only have one more left to go in the fall series, and then we are done with fall. Not the season personally, but with the videos. I'm enjoying it. I hope you are. It's been chilly and I'm loving it. And we're gonna move right into Christmas next Tuesday. And the reason we have to go into Christmas is because, well, there is nothing at Bed Bath & Beyond. I told you I would film in Bed Bath & Beyond, but there was nothing there. They ransacked that store. Like, the shelves are literally empty. There's like a few little random things here and there. I don't know why. The sale's only at 30% now. It just started. It's not even at 40 and 50 yet. Like, what's that about? So my suggestion to you, if you want to go in Bed Bath & Beyond, go now, because if my store is any indication, honey, there will be nothing there. So go immediately. With that being said, I'm your hostess and Empress Nikki T. Thank you for visiting my empire. I will see you in the next one. Deuces, darlings.